All right, everybody, welcome back to Satisfactory. Today we're going to be taking a look at Caterium and doing some research into Caterium ore. We found Caterium ore a while ago and just really haven't done anything with it because we haven't found very much, but it's on our scanner, and so today we're going to start off by going exploring and finding some veins. I'm not sure where we'll find some, but wherever it is, we've got some to the south, it looks like, and to the west. They're both about the same distance away, so we might strike out west and see what's there. We've been doing a little bit to the west anyway, so we have a little bit of infrastructure over there, and we may take advantage of that. We're going to dig into Caterium research to begin, and then maybe finish up a little later by taking a look at some of our next milestones. All right, we found the Caterium ore vein we're looking for. It's right here near this vast pool of water and these waterfalls, which is a beautiful area. It's in a slightly different biome than we've been in before, but it looks good and it's not that far. It is a little ways from where we're at, but not terrible. So we're going to go ahead and bridge on over there and see what we can do with this Caterium. All right, we got out to the Caterium ore vein. I did go ahead and set up a little bit of a workshop here so we can craft anything we need as well as do the research without having to run the great distance back to base. I set up a couple portable miners so we have a good supply of Caterium ore coming in. This is a pure vein, which means we can get 120 a second off of one of our Mark 1 miners. And it also means that we can dive right into our research. We can research these Caterium ingots with stuff we've already collected. And I think the next one then will have us submit some of those Caterium ingots in order to get the quick wire recipe, it looks like. So let's go ahead and craft those up, and then we'll get that turned in. All right, and with that Caterium crafted, we can go ahead and do that research into quickwire here. That has opened up 3 new things. We can do Caterium electronics with 100 quickwire, 6 inventory slots with just 10 ingots plus most of our reinforced iron plates. We've got plenty more of those. And then with 100 quickwire, we can get a zip line, which lets us zip along power lines. All right, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. So we might play with that a little bit. Let's go and craft up some more of this stuff and continue on unlocking this research. All right, so here we've got a little bit of a bridge factory going on. It's very small at the moment, and the reason for that is just that Caterium and Quickwire is tremendously difficult to make use of. Not because it's a difficult recipe. You know, we mine the Caterium, we smelt it, we turn it into quickwire, but because of the sheer quantity that we have, we're mining 120 Caterium per second. We can actually reduce this by 75%, down to 25% actually. And then that goes into a smelter. So we would need 4 smelters in order to make use of this Caterium vein. But then the crazy thing is that each constructor would then take 12 Caterium per minute to create 60 quickwire per minute. So this 120 Caterium per minute ore vein could produce 600 quickwire per minute, and we just have no way to handle or process all of that. So we're going to stick with 1 for now and just sort of reduce the efficiency of each of these steps in order to save some power, and then we'll probably, once we have our coal power plant expanded a little bit and we have a little bit more power to play with, then we'll come back and work out a larger scale factory here, because that's really the holdup is that power draw. To run 4 smelters and 10 constructors would be a large amount of power and would put us dangerously close to breaking the breakers on our factory, which we don't really want to do until we're able to expand that coal power plant just a little bit more. All right, this has been running for just about 2 minutes, and that's given us enough Caterium to go ahead and unlock that zipline research. So we're going to go ahead and get that started, let that run for about 5 minutes, and while that's working, we will also be building up these other resources so that we can get these other unlocks done as well. All right, our MAM research has just completed, so let's pop down and look at the zip line. So we've got some new equipment unlocked, and let's go ahead and research Caterium electronics to see what we unlock next. All right, that has opened up 3 new things. We have an AI limiter that takes copper sheets and Caterium, or Quickwire rather. So we happen to have a bunch of copper sheets. Once we get back up to 200 Quickwire, we'll research that. You can also get power poles Mark II for 300 Quickwire, which has up to 7 power line connectors, whereas the Mark I's, the ones we have now, can only connect 4. And then we have blade runners, an exoskeleton for your lower legs that assists movement, allowing you to sprint faster and jump higher. That actually looks really good. That's going to take some of those modular frames. We have a factory producing those, but we don't have any on us, as well as some more Quickwire. So we may run over and grab some of those and see how that works. Let's take a look at our zipline, though, and see what that requires to craft. So that needs a Xeno Zapper, some Quickwire, some rods, and some cables. So we just need an extra Xeno Zapper. We have the stuff for that, so that's good. Boom, and a zipline. Done. So let's try this zipline out. Oh, all right. Let's get off this bridge. This is a little bit of a precarious bridge here. Okay. That's all right. So if we dip too close to the ground, then we fall off. What happens if we hit a power pole? Okay, so it kicks us off there. And all right, same there. And we do take full. Okay. All right. Well, I'm a fan of the zipline. We may play around with this and see how things go. I wonder if we can jump around the pole. Yeah, there you go. All right. And this is definitely faster than walking, so we may have a new method of transportation between different parts of our factory. I'm a fan. All right, and we popped over to main base to grab some modular frames so that we could do our next little bit of research. So let's go ahead and get that going. And that'll take about 5 minutes. And while that's going on, we're going to keep building up a stockpile of Quickwire because we don't know how much we're going to need for some of this stuff. You'll see I've also gone ahead and created a splitter here, and I'm sinking half of the Quickwire just because we're making so much of it. And it's no problem for us to wait 5 or 10 minutes to build up a stockpile at this time. Once we start automating more and may want a great deal more than this, we may stop doing this. But we also always have the ability to expand the number of smelters and constructors. I was wrong, by the way, on the number of smelters we need. I didn't realize that this takes 45 Caterium ore per minute for maximum efficiency to make 15 ingots. So at most, we would be able to have 3 smelters there, and really only like 2 and 2/3 smelters there, which would create about 30 ingots per minute. So we could definitely expand this, and it's probably something we can afford to do. So we may end up doing that here shortly. Alright, we're back at main base and we're doing some research on the smart splitter, so hopefully we'll get to play with that building a little bit today. But in the meantime, while that's finishing up, I want to go ahead and wrap up this vehicular transport milestone. So we're going to go ahead and load in the resources we have for that. Looks like we need to grab a few more things out of chests to complete it, but then maybe we'll get to build and play with some tractors. Another quick tip I found some time ago, the first time I played the game, is that you can get a little bit more distance and height out of your jumps by crouching and then jumping out of the slide. You can see with the Blade Runners on, we get truly ludicrous amounts of distance out of this. Like we can jump from this ledge and almost cross this entire chasm. That's an insane jump. But even without the Blade Runners, you can move faster and jump higher by doing the slide jump there. All right, that's another milestone all complete.
Milestone reached. Long-range transportation, as well as the construction of outposts, is now encouraged. Vehicle stations have built-in functionality to refuel and restock or collect parts.
Okay, so it looks like the truck station and tractor both come from this building, and it looks like we have exactly enough parts to build one of each. So let's start with a tractor and then a truck station. Let's play around with this. All right, so a tractor has a workbench on it. That's cool. Driving doesn't seem to be working. Oh, there's a fuel slot. Okay, can we put our solid biofuel in there? Okay, so we've got a use for solid biofuel now, and we can drive our truck around. That's pretty exciting. Alright, hey guys, I've been playing around with the tractor and truck stations a little bit, and I have to say I'm a huge fan. I've gone ahead and set up a simple route, which we're riding on right now. I found another coal vein, and so I set up a miner and am piping the coal from there over to a truck station where we pick it up and then also use it as fuel for our vehicles. So if we open up our workbench here, you can see we've got some coal there. I've also set up a truck station near our Caterium factory, a quickwire factory, and I'm gathering that up. And then we bring it all back on closer to main base where we have a smart splitter set up to separate out the two items into their separate storage containers. Now, what makes vehicles really exciting for me here is that a couple of things. First of all, and most importantly, it unshackles us from the need to build factories near our resource nodes. We can set up a resource mining camp where we just mine, or maybe we mine and smelt a bunch of iron, and then we ship the bars, and that saves us from having to build our large factory there. It also means we can collect from multiple resource veins and create a greater flow of resources. Now, in some capacity, we're still limited by the number of resources that we can carry on a belt, but not really, because that's the other big advantage. When we're talking about a truck like this or a tractor like this, it actually operates in terms of not items per minute like most belts and machines, but in stacks per minute, which means we don't even need to have a pause, because it just loads up 125 coal immediately. And so this is just a huge benefit in terms of the scale of things. It means we can ship up to 60 stacks of iron per minute, and the only limiting factor is how quickly we can load truck stations, and we can get around that by creating multiple truck stations. If we're limited, say, to 120 incoming iron per minute on a truck station, then we can just put 3 truck stations in a line, and suddenly we're able to load 360 iron per minute, and that means we can scale up hugely. Obviously, our bigger priority in terms of reaching that scale right now is still going to be doing those milestones and unlocking the faster belts, because that's going to give us a greater production increase. and also because I want to unload or unlock, more advanced vehicles. Now that I've played around with vehicles, I'm super excited for trains, and so I really want to get to that milestone. So that's going to be something we're working towards. But just the sheer potential that's unlocked by vehicles. The other thing I'm hesitant about is that truck and tractor stations are getting a huge revamp in update 5, so I don't want to dive too far into them. So that's all the more reason to push for getting to trains quickly, because I don't think trains are changing much or at all. So I think that's where we're going to be headed. We will use truck and tractor stations because there's no reason not to dive in fully, but we may have to rebuild some of that functionality once we get into update 5. All right, we're back at the hub and we are wrapping up for the day. The last thing I want to do today is send off our basic steel production milestone, which will wrap up tier 3 for us. It's the last milestone we need after a coal power and vehicular transport. So let's go ahead and get that sent off and underway. And with that, we will start looking at steel production next time. And then take a look at the tier 4 milestones. Particularly, I'm interested in this logistics Mark III, which gives us the new conveyor belts, and that looks like something that will be tremendously useful. We may also play around with some of these other ones. It looks like improved melee combat is something we could just do. We have the parts for that, and that could give us an improved self-defense weapon and an additional utility there. But we'll play around with this and see what we can come up with next time. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, I'd love to hear them. And I'll see you guys next time.